Thank you all for sending questions for the Tuesday Q&A. Remember, guys, I do Q&As every Tuesday and Friday on my channel. Description box down below on all the details on how you can send me questions for the next Q&A. Anyways, let's get started with this one. Paul Marcolonis asks, how would you be if a Steiner versus Triple H rematch happened? And if Steiner said the only way I lost before was because Stephanie blew me before the match. I would be dying in laughter, and I could totally picture Scott Steiner saying that. The only reason why I lost is because your wife gave me a crappy blowjob. Be fucking awesome. Travis Nelson asks, do you think WCW would have been successful if there was no WWF? No. Because the only reason why Ted Turner put money into that company was to show Vince McMahon he can run a better wrestling company than him. So no, it wouldn't have been successful without no WWF. Devontae Wiggins asks, what race are you? Dutch Indonesian. Derek asks, and Derek, I said one question per video, man. You asked me, I'm fine with some people sometimes doing, the one topic question and then they kind of slide a second question in there. But you asked me for UFC 178 main card predictions, and then you ask about Team Cena and Team Lesnar at Survivor Series. How does that conjoin whatsoever? I'll let it slide this time, Derek, but next time, one question, buddy. UFC 178 main card predictions. Demetrius Johnson to retain. I'm going with Eddie Alvarez for the upset. Conor McGregor to win. Yoel Romero for the upset. I don't know if Romero's the underdog, but I really like him. And Kat Zagano to win. So those are my predictions for UFC 178. And you also asked, do you think Team Lesnar versus Team Cena would be a good at Survivor Series? No. Because Cena and Lesnar would be the final two. You might as well just give them a third match. Seriously, man. Might as well just give them a third match in a year instead of doing Team Lesnar and Team Cena. James Isabel asks, what do you think about the Ray Rice situation? Personally, I don't know why the Ravens choose now to cut him. I said James Isabel on Twitter 2 days ago when the information was released, or Monday when the information was released. I said, don't ask me about the Ray Rice situation because I didn't make a separate video on it for a reason. I don't have anything to say about it because Roger Goodell pissed me off so much with his inept ability to run the NFL. And I feel a lot of people would, take my opinions the wrong way and just say, you're not making this about Ray Rice, you're making it more about Roger Goodell. But Roger Goodell should ultimately be blamed for stupidity of what he did with Ray Rice by only giving him a 2-game suspension instead of suspending him for a whole year. Roger Goodell is the one who made this situation way worse. That's just my personal opinion, and people won't agree with me, but it's true. It's Roger Goodell's fucking fault for being an inept NFL commissioner. Johnny Russo asks, what is the biggest misconception about John Cena? I don't think there's really any, man. I'll probably say that people, when he says he's a terrible wrestler, I wouldn't say that. He's decent. He's decent to good. He can put on a good match when needed to. So probably that he's a terrible wrestler when really he's kind of decent. He doesn't have the storytelling elements all down. He doesn't have the crowd control down. So, he's probably just decent at best, but I wouldn't say he's terrible. That's probably his biggest misconception. I blame Vince for more of Cena's problems than, John Cena himself. That's just my opinion. Vince McMahon's the one at the end of the day who says the final decisions. And the fact that, sometimes he lets Cena pull the crap that he gets, it's ridiculous. Reed19 asks, what if everyone on the WWE roster got lost on an island for 6 years except for Kane, RVD, Zack Ryder, Bo Dallas, Dolph Ziggler, Damian Sandow, R-Truth, Curtis Axel, Ryback, and Heath Slater? What would the WWE do with their remaining talent? Pretty much Ryback and Ziggler would be their main eventers. What former superstars might they bring back? Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy. They might bring some TNA guys into the fold. Kurt Angle would definitely be back in a heartbeat. And what would happen to the remaining superstars on the island? No, Triple H is on the island. Oh, well, if they're on the island, they would try to survive on the island. One time there will be a polar bear on the island. They'll start freaking out. There will be a time machine. They'll find a way off the island. And when they get off the island, John Cena will have a beard. And he will tell Nicole, we have to go back. They go back to the island. They stop the fog monster. You know the idea. That's what happened if they were still on the fucking island. Savvy Yes Man asks, do you believe that the last couple of years in WWE have been some of the worst since the pre-Attitude Era years? Yes, I do believe that. The difference between the pre-Attitude Era years and the current stuff we have now is at least the pre-Attitude Era years, you knew there was going to be future stars and mid-carders for you. I mean, here, it's like, it's sad. You know, there's like at least 9, maybe 10 guys that you thought would be like in the main event scene or at least the upper mid-card scene. And look at them now. They're like barely doing anything. It's the same fucking 4 guys on top, you know, for the past 2 years. Like, it doesn't seem like there's any progression in the WWE. Like, there's no progression whatsoever. It just seems like they do the same thing every year and hope it pans out well. And I always say this, you know, you're doing bad in the company when you have to do a nostalgia act to get people to care. I mean, it's sad that the only time really people cared about wrestling was when The Rock was around. You know, that's just the truth. I mean, ratings were up when The Rock was on Raw. You know, WrestleMania buys were at 1 million. Like, they broke the pay-per-view buy record with WrestleMania 28, and that's just because The Rock was featured a part of it. How WrestleMania 27 just had The Rock on the damn poster, and look at how much buys it did. It's sad when you have to go to all these nostalgia acts just for people to care about your damn product. You know, I almost stopped watching wrestling in 2011. That's just the bottom line truth. You know, I was entering my senior year in high school. No, I was in my senior year in high school. Like, I pretty much was just like, you know, I don't really care about this product anymore until the Valentine's Day episode when I heard, I feel small. I was like, oh, I'm back into wrestling again. So, you know, that's sad. You know, you have to do all these nostalgia acts just for people to care about your product. So these are some of the worst years for sure. Final Limits asks, what if Hulk Hogan, Hall, and Nash never went to WCW and stayed in WWE, and still Hogan turned heel and formed the NWO in '96 just like WCW, but a WWE pay-per-view like SummerSlam or WrestleMania? It wouldn't work, man. Here's why it wouldn't work, Final Limits. The whole point of the NWO is we're taking over. We're invading WCW. We're the outsiders of WCW. That's why the NWO worked. You know, they went. What are they doing in the WWF? They already have contracts there. We know they're not WCW talent trying to take over the WWF roster. No, they're just WWF guys who turned heel. I don't think the impact would have been as big. You know, if they stayed in WWF, would it be a good idea? Oh, hell yeah. Turning Hulk Hogan heel would have been awesome. But at the end of the day, I don't think it would have that much of an impact. And it would have got diluted so quickly because they would have added Triple H to the group already. And Shawn Michaels would have been added in too soon. And hell, they would probably force Bret Hart to be in the group. So, you know, in all honesty, I don't think the NWO would have worked out in WWF. I don't think WWF at the time had a good enough roster as well to combat with the NWO. You know, WCW had a great roster to combat with the NWO at the time. So that's just my opinion. It would just dilute the fact of what the NWO was. You know, maybe if they called themselves something different than the NWO, maybe. But then at the end of the day, I think fans would in the WWF would like the NWO more than half the roster at that point. That's just me. Dave Lesser asks, what did you think of Orton's loss to Miz on Raw when Miz cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase and won the title? And what did you think of that angry little girl in the crowd? I was pissed off because Randy Orton's my boy, but I was kind of okay with it because at least I thought they were going to do something with the Miz as a main event champion. So it was kind of a bittersweet thing for me. And Angry Miz Girl, she gets no love anymore, man. I thought she had one of the best fan reactions. You know, people like the shocked Undertaker guy going, ugh? But no one talks about Angry Miz Girl anymore. And she had one of the best reactions. She's like, like that girl was so bad, like, like, no one talks about Angry Miz Girl anymore. Why, man? She has one of the best fan reactions of all time. You know, like, don't get me wrong. I love Brock Lesnar, guy doing this. I love, you know, shocked Undertaker fan. They have great fan reactions. But come on, man. Angry Miz Girl needs her love. Maybe they don't show her that much anymore because of she is a little girl and maybe her parents, like, you know, are getting weird requests for her. You never know with wrestling fans. Wrestling fans are sometimes weirdos, man, and you know that. Lono Low asks, what do you think of when Scott Steiner turned heel in 2003 and teamed with Test? I liked it at first, but then afterwards, they were fighting over Stacy Keibler, and I just didn't care. That's just the bottom line. And once again, another Test push. I swear, how many times is Test going to get pushed in that damn company, man? May he rest in peace, Andrew Martin. But seriously, how many pushes did Test get in his career? Ridiculous. Red Wolf 316 asks, if Brock Lesnar had stayed in the WWE and never left to go to have an NFL career, do you think fans would have gotten sick of him and booed him just like John Cena? Oh, hell no. I don't think that whatsoever, Red Wolf 316, because see, the thing is with Brock Lesnar, and it's like what I talked about when I talked about Dave Bautista and his booking, was that they made Brock Lesnar look humanistic sometimes in his booking. You know, after that whole 2002 where he was just I'm a big bad beast, big bad monster, Brock Lesnar booking, you know, they kind of had a humorous side to him. You know, had a little friendly rivalry with Kurt Angle. They would do funny skits backstage. You know, they try to give Brock more of a personality. And, you know, we have Brock as a personality. You know, I don't think he would have gotten booed as bad as John Cena. You know, would the fans get sick and tired of him? Yeah. But that would be the point in time where the WWE would probably change the direction of his character, make him into a heel, make him to a babyface. Because Brock Lesnar, you can always say he plays a better heel than he does a babyface, and he works better as a heel. So in all honesty, you know, I don't think the fans would have got stale with him because the WWE would at least change his character, what would ever fit the situation. Unlike with John Cena, the WWE doesn't want to seem to change his character in any other circumstance. The Gochi Man asks, what are some things Hulk Hogan was good at that John Cena couldn't do? Control the crowd, get a positive reaction, tell a fucking story. Seriously, John Cena wishes he was Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan, like, seriously, people, I remember Bound for Glory 2011. So many motherfuckers were shitting on Hogan and Sting. So many motherfuckers were saying this is going to be the worst match of all of wrestling. And what happened? Oh, once Bound for Glory 2011 hit, half of my damn Twitter feed and all the fucking crowd in Philadelphia, which is a smart mark crowd, were popping their fucking boners for Hulkamania. And half of fucking Twitter was saying, oh man, Hogan actually looks good for this match when Hogan could barely move, man. He knows how to control a damn crowd. That's the thing with Hogan. All Hogan has to do is this. And the fans go fucking wild. He doesn't need to do anything else in the match. That's all Hogan has to do. And the fans go wild. Cena does this, the fans are like, woo. Hogan just does this, and the fans are like, ah. I'm just saying, man, like, Cena never has had any reaction that Hulk Hogan has had. Case in point, 2002. When Hulk Hogan's hulking up against the damn Rock, and then Rock looks at him, and he points at him, that Canadian crowd goes fucking bonkers, man. Just saying, man. Hogan was far more superior as a performer and an entertainer than John Cena. Joe Juicy asks, what if Scott Cena came back to the WWE and had his own talk show? Be awesome. Could you imagine how many feuds would actually be better if you had a Scott Steiner talk show? Especially if you got a Divas feud involved. You know, Jerry Springer, you're a cool guy. But think about Scott Steiner in the Bellas feud. Okay, both you gonna suck my dick or what? Be fucking awesome. Book it, WWE. Mr. Juicy asks, what were some of your favorite Jim Ross commentary moments? Shit, man. Like, that's, like, really hard to think. That's like trying to be selective right on the spot. When Mankind gets thrown off the Hell in a Cell, I like that one a lot. God. The one with Undertaker and Kane, when Undertaker was walking through hell, I like that one a lot the most. Like, you know, when Kane was doing the whole pyro thing and Undertaker was just walking through all that shit, like, no selling it. Like, lightning was striking the fucking Undertaker and he was like, no selling this shit. So, I really like what Jim Ross was saying there. Trying to think, man, because it's like, you know, it's right on the spot. You know, I love JR, man, but it's so hard to remember, like, some of his best moments right on the damn spot, especially if you haven't watched him in a long-ass time. I mean, seriously, commentary in wrestling sucks so bad that I do miss JR a lot. It's just that, you know, I'm so used to hearing the crappy shit on today's product that I can't even think of great JR moments right now. By God, he's broken in half. That's a good one. I'm trying to think. You know, Chris Benoit winning the world title. I really like what JR said. Oh, and Kurt Angle, when he won the title against Austin, you know, he's talking about his dad, like, Angle's being, like, carried on the shoulders, and then later on, he's all like, his father's looking down. Your dad is proud. My boy's champion again, and I thought that was good. So those are some of my favorite JR moments, man. Like I said, there's probably more, but it's just really hard to answer right on the spot with that kind of stuff. Greg Toomer asks, if John Cena and Hulk Hogan switched eras from when they were on top for the times, how do you think they would have done? Cena would have been good, but I don't think he would have ever been as big as Hogan. That's for damn sure. And if Hogan would have came in, he definitely would have adapted to the times. Some people forget that Hulk Hogan used to be really good in Japan. You know, people like to forget some of Hogan's pre-WWF stuff. That's just the bottom line fact. They don't look at his AWA stuff whatsoever. But Hogan knew how to adapt with the times. That's what makes Hulk Hogan a great professional wrestler that people don't understand, is that he can adapt into the times. And so if you put Hogan in today's current era, or, you know, the era like 2002 era, he would have been just fine. You know, I don't think he would have been the megastar because I think WWF would have been looking at other people. And not only that, he probably wouldn't have gotten away with his physique that he had in the 80s because he probably wouldn't have been on the roids. So he'd kind of be like what he is now or what he was back in 2002. Like I said, Cena, he would be fine, but not as big as a star as Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan, he would have done well for himself. Definitely probably would have won a couple world titles, but I don't think would have been the megastar he was. But he definitely would have been able to adapt. Jake Loomis asked, what if Scott Steiner came back into the WWE, cut a promo on Mississippi, having so many fat asses? I guess Mississippi. Why Mississippi? Is Mississippi really the fattest state? I'll just enjoy it because of Scott Steiner, man, but it'd be funny. Fat asses. Josh Chambers asked, if Hulk Hogan was in his prime and was a top babyface of the WWE right now, do you think fans would boo him like John Cena? And do you also think fans would shit on wrestling ability? Like I said earlier, Josh Chambers, about Hulk Hogan, if you switch him with the current areas, with the current John Cena, he would have worked just fine because Hulk Hogan would have been able to adapt. Some people forget about Hulk Hogan's early stuff before he entered the WWF. You know, Hulk Hogan would have adapted to his abilities. And when it comes down to his wrestling ability, you know, like I said, it would be adaptation for Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan would have done and probably learned a couple of more moves. You wouldn't be seeing Hulk Hogan doing a Hurricane Rana, but I definitely think Hulk Hogan would be a much more technical wrestler than he was. So yeah, I would definitely say you would see a better Hulk Hogan for sure. I don't think fans would shit on him that much. Slapnuts 2000 asks, where would you have seen Muhammad Hassan's career going if he was never fired? You know, couple world titles, featured in big ways. Probably a gimmick change because you can't run with that character for a while. For a long time, he definitely would have changed the character. So he would have had a solid career, a really solid career. Like, look at Alberto Del Rio's career in the WWE. You know, that's a pretty good career in the WWE. So I would have to say he would have a career similar to Alberto Del Rio's. The fake good Mike Work asked, what would your experience be like if you were eating breakfast with the Breakfast Club and you were having a conversation about egos? Oh, you kidding me? Dude, I would have a heart attack right there. Like, I would look at my plate and then look up and see Triple H being like, what's wrong, Chase? And then John Cena's like, yeah, you want to talk about our egos? And Randy Orton just striking a pose. Batista eating all the food. And Sheamus, you know, probably getting his ass kicked by Hunico in the background, to be honest. But I would be marking the fuck out. I would be stroking their egos. They would help me get my ego to be bigger. I would be in heaven. I'd be pinching myself every minute saying, is this a dream? Is this a dream? Is this a dream? I'll be like, God, am I dead? I will try to see if I can fly or some shit. You know, not too high of a height, just enough to break my leg or something. But, you know, I would see if I could fly. Like, I would be overreacting to the fucking moon. If I was having breakfast with the Breakfast Club, are you kidding me? It'd be amazing. John Cool asked, what would hip-hop be like if Tupac and Biggie were still alive? Hip-hop and rap, I say as two different things. That's just the bottom line for me when it comes down to it. So rap would be much better. Hip-hop would still suck. That's just the bottom line. I'm pretty sure Tupac would do some hip-hop stuff with like Lil Wayne or something, but rap would be a lot better. Hardcore rap, that is. Jay Walker asks, will Stephanie McMahon ever leave the creative team? Nope, because she thinks she's a creative genius. She'll never leave that creative team, and she should. The Real Heel asks, what was your favorite TNA Bound for Glory? Even though I went to 09, I still love Bound for Glory 05. Bound for Glory 05 is my favorite. Gochi Man. One question, man. I'm going to let it slide because you're a long-time viewer. But one question next time, Gochi Man. I know you don't watch ROH, but what do you think of Mike Bennett? I like Mike Bennett, man. Like, seriously. How is this guy not signed with the WWE? He can act. He's tall. He's big. He can wrestle, for fuck's sake. How is he not in the WWE? Seriously. Go watch some of Mike Bennett's stuff. Like, I thought for sure in 2011, when I first ever saw Mike Bennett, because, you know, I did used to watch ROH, man. I used to watch ROH a lot back in, like, 09 through 2011. But it would be on and off. Like, I wouldn't watch every fucking show. I would watch every once in a while. I remember I saw Mike Bennett in 2011. I said, oh, my God. This guy's WWE bound. Once he's done with Ring of Honor, see you bye, Ring of Honor. He's going to go make some big money in the WWE. I don't know how he's not signed with the WWE, man. That's just ridiculous to me. Sharora Horror asks, do you see that Seth Rollins almost got stabbed in a spike on a steel cage on Raw? Yes, I did, Sharora. I talked about it in my Raw review. Thank God he got out of the way in time, man. Thank God. Lorna Low asks, why does Raw suck every week? Lorna Low, is this your second question too? Come on, man. One question. Raw sucks every week because they don't put any effort into it. That's why. Lino Gino asks, when is the Bella feud ending? Whatever the fuck WWE feels like ending it. Probably Survivor Series. Brony Loney asks, what was your reaction to Del Rio winning the Royal Rumble 2011? Okay. Who cares? That literally was my reaction. Because at that point, like I said earlier in the Q&A, I was losing interest in wrestling. And when Del Rio eliminated Santino, I was like, whatever. And I just walked away. Didn't care. Randy Bussette asks, what if Rollins would have gotten impaled? Would he even be lucky enough to be alive? And if he did, what would he be in a wheelchair? If he did survive, he would be lucky to be in a wheelchair, dog. That's just about like the way that spike was landing to his upper back, man. Oh, God, no, he would have been dead. If he would have been dead. And like I said, if he were lucky enough to be alive, he'd probably be in ICU hoping they can fix his lungs, man. Like I said, thank God Seth Rollins was able to get out of the way in time. And the Tano Fanboy 1998 is going to end this question asking, what if Punk was still wrestling? Who would he be feuding with now and at Mania if he hadn't left after the Royal Rumble? Well, he would be feuding with Triple H at Mania. That's just the bottom line because the game needs his big WrestleMania payout, brother. But who would he be feuding with now? They'd probably give him the title. If Daniel Bryan was injured, they'd probably try to build up Punk versus Lesnar 2 at this SummerSlam instead of Cena versus Lesnar 3 or 2 in WWE's eyes. So, yeah, I think he would probably have been feuding with Lesnar. Like, I think they would have given the title at Money in the Bank. So, after the Triple H feud, I could see him doing a bunch of other stuff with the Authority. Maybe one match with Batista. Then again, you had to take away the Evolution stuff. So, you know, in all honesty, the stuff in between, I wouldn't know what they would do with CM Punk. But I definitely know they would have given him the title just so Brock Lesnar could kick his ass. So, yeah, that's what they would be doing with CM Punk. But thank you guys very much for sending in the questions for the Q&A. Look at that. We chopped out 15 minutes. Very, very happy. Like I said, one question only for now on. I let it slide this edition, especially for those who have been longtime viewers of the Q&As. I'm cool with y'all, so you guys know the drill. But next time, just one question. Anyways, guys, thank you very much. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at ChaseOver68. Check out my website, Chilling with Chase, and all the other content on this channel. I'll see you all next time. Peace.